Hello, this is David Dean, and yes, this is another video. I was going to give it a break. Started about 5:30 this morning, and it's about 9 o'clock at night. But hey, I had a lot of people asking me for a Constructor video, and a lot of people putting out a lot of bad information about the update as far as Constructor. So I definitely wanted to get this out there. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this build. I will go through after the gameplay to show you how I have it set up. I am not going to run my entire Storm Shield defense. We're just going to do one wave of it. It's going to be at level 108. I am level 87. And all it's going to be is everything's going to spawn out here. Before I had a lobber screen with gas traps out there, but I removed that. So everything is just going to be coming into this 2x1 tunnel. And we're going to see how it holds up with my base I'm using. And I am doing a new trap build also. This is something I've recently put up by Rounded Tic Tac, and he admits that he didn't discover how to do this. He had somebody else saw it on with them when he was playing, and now he's added it. And I gotta say, it's one of the few trap tunnels I've seen where, hey, this is actually something really new and really good. Instead of doing the wooden floor spikes that slow the husk 30%, what he did was just redo the floors as diagonals. Now when they come in, they all have to come in from this little entrance. If they get hit by the launcher, they hit here and kind of slide out right in front, and then they got to try to come back in a second time. And then if they get by that, they get by the second launcher, which will send them back to the first launcher, which will hopefully send them back out. The whole time getting eaten up by 2 gas traps and 2 dynamos. So it uses 2 less traps. And actually, I thought it was pretty impressive when I tested it out. So we're going to get this started, and I will talk more about the setup as I do this, trying to make these videos a little bit shorter. And you still cannot put down your Constructor base until you start the Storm Shield. Already tested that out. And for putting down the base, you got to hit the trap button. Then you go up here. Here I have to recycle it. There we go. And we got everything coming in. And good, we got an elemental type, I believe. Oh, we got a blaster. Whoa! Alright, I am level 87. But hey, we can look at the traps here. Everything getting eat up. He's got through? No. He is down. The blaster is down. We're getting some bad lag in there. But yes, nothing has made it through yet. Will he make it? Nope. So right now, basically what did it start at? 4 minutes or 3:30? Don't know. But anyway, just this huge constant stream of husk. We got Husky Husk. And he gets slapped back. And the reason this is doing so good is the base. First of all, we got the heavy base explosion. There, it's getting ready to go. Come on. Get some more dying in there. And there, we blow up with the explosion, clearing everything out, or most of it, except for those 108 blasters. But with the build I have, first of all, I have the Ice King. The Ice King causes a snare that slows down husk by 15%. And the only thing to make it through so far is one little dwarf husk. That's pretty messed up. Alright, but yes, that slows them down 15%. The wooden spikes slow them down 30%. And I spent like an hour testing this, trying to see how it all worked. And they do stack. So like right here, this will slow down by 40%. So now we have 2 husks that have made it all the way through. And let's see. And also on this, we have Tough Traps with Machinist Harper, who gives us increased trap durability. We have Machinist Thora, who gives us Electric Floors for more damage on that. Oh, we got one more barely making it through. And he'll be dropping in a heartbeat. And we got another one just barely making it through. But this is pretty darn good, considering these are level 108 mobs They're trying to get through a trap tunnel only 2 tiles long. And yeah, just a handful of them getting through so far. There is a group of Husky Husk and Blasters, and all getting taken out. Also, this has it where the super traps, where you get, it says 8.5% more trap damage, but that is trap damage per per constructor you have slotted in your support squad. So when I went and I spent like an hour testing this out also, first I tested it out with just one constructor slotted, and it did an increase of 6%. And then when I went and slotted up all the slots with constructors, it did a total of 30% damage. And the reason it's not doing the 42.5% is because it's doing it to the base amount of the trap damage, not the trap damage with all the added perks, I believe. But yes, we're almost done. Like I said, maybe half a dozen Husk have made it up here, maybe a dozen. Everything else is absolutely slaughtered in the trap tunnels. So I think this is a pretty good test, showing that this works extremely well as far as a constructor build if you are focusing on trap damage and trap tunnels. Alright, so let's go ahead and head out. How many charges? That used up 35 charges. This one used up 41 charges. Not good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of that and look at the specifics of this build. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, whether you think that is a good demonstration of how good the constructors still are when it comes to doing what constructors do with their base. And yeah, I think that went extremely well. And look forward in testing it out more when I do Storm Shield Defense number 7 all the way through, because that can definitely be an ugly one. Alright, so here is our setup. And just going through this, supercharged traps. One thing I noticed about this was the 5 times over here, and that is counting up how many constructors you have slotted for support. Now it says the base is determined at 8.5%. I found when I went and actually checked out the numbers, it was a 6% increase. If I had just one constructor, it did 6% more damage. If I had the 5 constructors, it did 30% more damage. So this is a pretty huge deal. Electric floors, it's nice. It's not a great one, but it's definitely adds up, just doing that little bit of extra damage to every Husk in there. Plus, if they are snared, they're in there longer. Plus, if they're getting slapped back by the wall launchers, they're going through the same area again and again, so that electric floors adds up after a while. Also, electric floors is affliction damage. So if you are shooting them and your weapon does more damage to afflicted targets, you will do more damage to those targets because the electric floors is affliction damage. Power modulation, in this case, I don't think it had any effect whatsoever. There is another constructor who gives you like 28% more health to your structures, and I would have gone with that. I think it's I think it's just base Kyle, but I don't have that hero leveled up, so I didn't use it. And in truth, if I was running this, I probably would have gone with, well, no, I would probably go with the increase to Rosie. And I would have been sitting up there with my Rosie turret and just picking off anything that did poke its head out. But I wanted to focus on the traps. Then Frozen Castle, I was talking about this. As it says, it gives a snare of 15%. This does stack with the wooden floor spikes, so you can slow them down roughly 45% with both the snare and the wooden floor spikes when that happens. Tough traps, just getting that trap durability up, which really only is needed in Storm Shield defenses. If I was doing something like Deliver the Bomb or some mission like that, once again, I would switch this out for the other Rosie perk. And that is, do I have it on this one? I don't think I even have it on this. It's Krampus. So I need to look at that. Or I would go with a base build with the kinetic overload build if I felt like I was going to be running around and smashing in heads. And get out of that. And then finally, Mega Base. Mega Base increases connectivity by 1 tile. In that little bitty trap tunnel I was doing, that wasn't that big of a deal. But in other places I would put it in the Storm Shield defense, it would definitely be a big deal. So there you go. Basically, the only thing I see lost, the main trap hero from before was Thora, and she did lose her increase to trap recharge, getting them to go off faster. And you can no longer stack 2 of the Machinist to double up on the tough traps. So we've lost that. But now I can use my heavy base Nova effect along with this increase of trap damage, along with everything else. Before, we never had the snaring effect, which I do like and think is a good thing. And so there you go. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's working out pretty good so far. I do look forward to playing with it more and seeing what else I can come up with for a constructor who is focused on bases. So looking forward to doing some more builds tomorrow. Probably try to do some soldier builds, maybe a grenade build, maybe a Gatling gun going commando build. Also, wouldn't mind trying to do a kinetic overload build for constructors. But let me know what builds you want to see. Ooh, I also want to do a grenade build, kind of like the old MGR, and see how that holds up. So take care. Have a great night. Thank you for supporting me and support a creator. That has made a huge difference in my life. It is David Dean, all one word. And if you don't support me, please support somebody. Because there's a lot of deserving people out there. So take care and have an amazing night.